Welcome students. Today we are starting with our new topic estrogens, progestins and contraceptives. So let us see the introduction of these hormones. The estrogen are the female hormones and these are include the natural hormones as well as semi-synthetic as synthetic agents. Estrogens are used as a hormone in the replacement therapy in the case of menopause or in the case of cancer treatment, oncology, or as an contraceptives. Most estrogen in the female is produced in ovaries by theca interna and the granulosa cells of the follicles. So in the female reproductive system, there are the follicles which are present in the ovaries by theca interna and granulosa cells in the follicles. So these most of the estrogen is produced by these cells. Let us see estrogen includes estradiol, estrone, and estriol. So these are natural estrogens, estradiol, estrone, and estriol. While synthetic estrogen are steroidal one, and second is the non-steroidal one. So steroidal estrogen is the ethinyl estradiol, mestranol, and tibolone. While the non-steroidal estrogen are diethyl, stilbestrol, and dinestrol. All these are the estrogens. The some are natural and some are synthetic one. In synthetic, the steroidal and non-steroidal. So steroidal are ethinyl, estradiol, mestranol, and tibolone. Non-steroidal are diethynyl, stilbestrol. Let us see the regulation of our estrogen secretion. So hypothalamus, which is major controller, which is situated in the brain and which releases the gonadotropin releasing hormone. So gonadotropin releasing hormone that will act on the pituitary gland, anterior pituitary gland, and this anterior pituitary gland will secretes the follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone LH and FSH. This LH, that is luteinizing hormone, will act on Cl, while the LH and FSH act on the follicles in the ovary, and this will give the progesterone negative effect and will give the negative effect on the hypothalamus and anterior pituitary, while the follicles will inhibit the anterior pituitary as well as the hypothalamus and anterior pituitary. So estradiol. So these are the some hormones which are secreted by the ovaries. These are the estradiol, inhibin, then progesterone. So they will, when they get secreted in our body and in the blood, their levels will automatically have the negative feedback effect on the hypothalamus and anterior pituitary gland, and they will stop the secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormone, and ultimately the decrease in the secretion of luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone, and this will regulate the secretion of these estrogens. So daily 10 to 100 microgram per day secretion of estrogen takes place, and during pregnancy large quantity is produced by the placenta up to 30 milligram per day, and in the post-menopausal 2 to 10 microgram per day only. So in the puberty in the years, pubertal years means the after puberty of 13 to 14 years up to the menopause, there is a good secretion of estrogen and these hormones takes place, while after menopause there is a decrease in the estrogen secretion takes place. So let us see the actions of estrogen. The one on the sexual organs in the female, primary and secondary sexual characteristics. It affects the primary and secondary sexual characteristics. It brings about pubertal changes in vagina, fallopian tube, and the uterus in the female. So when the estrogen takes secretion started, it develops the vagina, Then fallopian tubes and uterus in the female and their growth takes place. Vagina, the cornification of epithelial cells with the thickening and stratification of epithelium takes place. In ovaries, it stimulates follicular growth, and small doses can cause increase in weight of ovary, and large doses cause atrophy. So these are the primary sexual characteristics, and sex development of sexual organs takes place after puberty, while the secondary sex characters like a change in the voice of the female, then change in the shape of the pubic hairs will appear on the pubic, then enlargement of the breast and other things takes place. Metabolic effects like anabolic means increase in the food intake and increase in the body growth. Other pharmacological actions on the bone, they are having important for maintaining bone mass, increase expression of bone mass proteins, osteocalcin, then alkaline phosphatase, then generation of vitamin D3, that is induction of renal hydroxylase enzyme, then edema, salt and water retention may occur, increase low density lipoprotein and decrease high density lipoprotein levels, increase coagulability of the factors like second factor, then 7 factor, 9 factor, and 10, then lithogenicity of the bile, and increase SH, BG, TBG, thyroglobulin, and CBG. All these are the other pharmacological actions of the estrogens. So SHBG means the sex hormone binding globulin, then then TBG means thyroxine binding globulin, and CBG means cortisol binding globulin are elevated in the blood. Let us see the mechanism of action of estrogen. So estrogen bind to the specific nuclear receptors in target cell and produce effect by regulating protein synthesis. So it act on the receptors, two receptors which are ER alpha and ER beta. So ER alpha, it is located in uterus, vagina, breast, and blood vessels, while the ER beta located in the prostate gland and the ovaries of the female. So it works via steroid hormone mechanism, entering the target cell and binding to the specific cytosolic receptors. The steroid receptor complex is then translocated to the nucleus, and it get where it alters the gene expression, and these co-activator proteins and co-pressor proteins will enhance the mechanism of action of these receptors of estrogen. So estrogen receptors are two types: ER estrogen receptor alpha and estrogen receptor beta. Estrogen receptors have been demonstrated in female sex organs like breast, pituitary, then liver, bone, blood vessels. Then they cause the gene transcription on these receptors and gives the its pharmacological action. Let us see the therapeutic effect of our uses of our estrogens. So the estrogen can be used in the hormone replacement therapy to menopause women, in the problems of menopause like vasomotor disturbances, urogenital atrophy, osteoporosis and fractures, then dermatological changes, and some risk of cardiovascular diseases. In this also the estrogen can be therapeutically used. The doses are like 0.6 to 5 milligram per day in cyclical manner, which is estrogen equivalent to 0.6 to 5 milligram per day. Progestin preparations, medroxyprogesterone and norethiosterone is used in a dose of 2.5 milligram per day. Let us see the selective estrogen receptors modulators. So the drugs which are modulating the estrogen receptors are called as the SERM, selective estrogen receptor modulators. So clomiphene citrate, anti-estrogen. These are the anti-estrogens. So two non-steroidal compounds like clomiphene citrate and tamoxifene citrate, which are uh, grouped as a estrogen antagonist. So they have their effect depending on the species and the target organ and the hormonal background. So the clomiphene citrate, which is an anti-estrogen, the fertility pill, it is a pure antagonist of estrogen receptor in all human tissues, and it has action on gonadotropin secretion and follicle stimulating hormone secretion. So it is used in the woman with unexplained infertility and unovulatory infertility. It binds to both estrogen receptor alpha as well as estrogen receptor beta. It blocks the estrogenic feedback inhibition of pituitary and induces the GN secretion, that is gonadotropin secretion. Increase amount of secretion of follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone at each secretory pulse. It creates favorable atmosphere in the ovarian stimulation for the ovulation in the ovaries. So the estrogen is having, we can say, uh, anti-fertility effect, but the various drugs, if the overexpression of estrogen is takes place, and this will lead to infertility or no favor of the fertility takes place due to the estrogen. But when we antagonize the estrogen receptors, we can enhance the fertility of that ovaries and that female. So it creates the clomiphene citrate, which is an anti-estrogen, and it increases the follicle stimulating hormone and GN secretion. So it creates the favorable atmosphere and causes the ovarian stimulation for ovulation in the ovaries. So ovaries shall get ovulate an egg, then and then the fertilization could occur. So this anti-estrogen or these modulators, fertility modulators, can be used in the woman with unexplained infertility or unovulatory infertility. Then tamoxifen can be useful as an competitive antagonist to estrogen at receptors in the breast. It partially agonizes at other estrogen receptors, thus minimizing the side effect due to estrogen deprivation. It decreases the low density lipoprotein level but no change in the high density lipoprotein level. It improves the bone and bone mass and lipid profile. It is excreted in the bile and half-life is about 10 hours to 7 days long duration of action, and up to 10 to 20 milligram twice a day can be used. So tamoxifen is also useful in the fertility. So tamoxifen stimulates the endometrial proliferation and lowers the GN and prolactin levels in the post-menopausal woman as well as the improvement in their bone density. Tamoxifen is a standard hormonal treatment of breast cancer in both pre and post-menopausal women. So tamoxifen is useful in the breast cancer treatment also. Tamoxifen is orally effective, has a biphasic plasma half-life about 10 hours to 7 days long duration of action. It can be useful in the male infertility alternative to clomiphene citrate. So here it is useful in the breast carcinoma, pre and post menopause, adjuvant therapy in the earlier cases. Some side effects are there: hot flashes, nausea, vomiting, rashes, menstrual irregularity, bleeding, infrequent depression, headache, less toxic than the anti-cancer drugs. So tamoxifen can be useful in the breast cancer therapy also. Then aromatase inhibitors. So aromatase inhibitors, these are letrozole, anastrozole, and exemestane. So it has non-steroidal compound, reversible inhibition of aromatization all over the body takes place. It suppresses the proliferation of estrogen-dependent breast carcinoma cells, and it has a rapid oral absorption, 100% bioavailability, large volume of distribution, half-life is about 40 hours, and it can be used in the treatment of early breast carcinoma and advanced breast carcinoma. Next are the progestins. So progestins are the substances which convert the estrogen prime endometrium to secretory and maintain pregnancy in animal spread after conception. So progesterone is one of the hormone which is a, we can say, the conception favoring hormone or the fertilization favoring hormone. So these are substance which favors the pregnancy. So they are classified as progesterone derivatives, progesterone, hydroxyprogesterone. Then 19 testosterone derivatives, norethindrone, norethinodrel, then linestrenol, allylestrenol, and third generation compounds like gonads, norgestimate, norgestrel, disogestrel, and levonorgestrel. So these are the three different classes of progestins. These are the micronized formulations available for oral use. Let us see the actions of progesterone. Uterus, it has responsible for luteal phase of endometrium. Then high level of estrogen progesterones may has been seen in the pregnancy and luteal phase that prevents secretion of gonadotropins. Then maintenance of pregnancy, nidation and maintenance of pregnancy. So progesterone is very important in the pregnancy to maintain the pregnancy for 9 months. It decreases uterine motility and depress the T cell function and CMI. And it also have the action on the menstruation of the female. On the cervix, it controls the viscid and cellular secretion, no sperm penetration. Then on vagina, pregnancy-like changes, leukocyte infiltration and cognified epithelium. So the progesterone, whenever there is a pregnancy, it will show the changes like leukocyte infiltration and cognified epithelium. So these may be the diagnostic parameters. Then in on the breast, progesterone has proliferation of acini in mammary glands, prepares the breast for lactation together with estrogen. So after pregnancy, the baby needs the milk. So progesterone helps the development of breast proliferation of acini or in the mammary glands takes place, and this prepares the breast for lactation, that is the milk feeding for the baby. On metabolism, it impairs the glucose tolerance and counteraction benefits of estrogens. Means it counteract the effects of some estrogens. On the CNS, it has a sedation action. In respiration, it is stimulated by the action of progesterone. Let us see the mechanism of action, how our progesterones having their action. So have progesterone receptors has a limited distribution in the body, and it is confined mostly to the female genital tract only, in the breast, in CNS and pituitary gland. The progesterone receptors are normally present in nucleus of target cells. It is some similar as that of the estrogen receptors. So two types of progesterone receptors are exist. The progesterone receptor A and progesterone receptor B are having different activities. So progesterone A receptor A is short while the progesterone B receptor is the longer. What are the uses of these progestins? So progestins are useful as an contraceptives, then hormonal replacement therapy, dysfunctional uterine bleeding, and ovulatory cycles, in the endometriosis, then premenstrual syndrome, then threatened and habitual abortion, endometrial carcinoma. So these are the uses as an contraceptive, hormonal replacement therapy, then premenstrual syndrome, dysfunctional uterine bleeding. Let us see the adverse effects of these progestins. The breast engorgement, then headache, rise in body temperature, edema, acne, mood swings, masculinization. Then long-term use of progestin in hormonal replacement therapy may increase the risk of breast cancer, hyperglycemia, irregular bleeding, and amenorrhea. All these are the adverse effects of these progestins. Note it down. Let us see the antiprogestins, the mifepristone. The mifepristone is a 19 non-steroid with potent competitive antiprogesterone and significant anti-corticoid as well as anti-androgenic activity. So antiprogestin mifepristone is a compound which has the antiprogestational, then anti-glucocorticoid and anti-androgenic action. So it has a action on follicles like attenuation of gonadotropin discharge. It slows the follicular development and failure of ovulation. It prevents or inhibits the ovulation of in the ovulation. That is the egg releasing capacity is inhibited. On luteal phase, it prevents the secretion changes brought by the progesterone. It inhibits the effects of the progesterone. Then it causes the late cycle, that is the blocking of progesterone action, increased prostaglandin release, and uterine contraction. Sensitization of endometrium to prostaglandin, that in the menstruation takes place. So all these are having the actions of these mifepristone antiprogestin. The next is the therapeutic uses of these antiprogestins. This mifepristone can be used for the termination of the pregnancy up to 7 weeks. A 600 milligram as a single oral dose causes complete abortion in 60 to 85% cases. Then cervical ripening, 24